Welcome to another episode of the Coach's Corner. We are here at the Tivoli Tap House, a great place for food as well as a great place for beer. I'm Tony Almanza, and alongside me is David Moreno. David, so how was your spring break, man?
Oh, it was great, Tony. How about you?
I had a great break, and I guess I'm glad to be back and finish the semester off strong.
Well, I mean, we got another episode of Coach's Corner.
That's right. So, David, who's on the show today, man?
We have Coach Ryan Strain from the men's baseball team. We'll talk to Coach Haave of the women's basketball team about their great run in the NCAA tournament. And we'll welcome in women's basketball freshman Losalini Katia, who is back to tell us how her first year went with the program.
Sounds like a great show. I can't wait to talk baseball with Coach Strain. But before we do that, we want to give you an update of what happened this past weekend in Roadrunner sports. We'll start with the little baseball, and Coach Ryan Strain led his squad to the 4-game sweep on Adams State on the road. After taking Game 1, 16-10, it was the great pitching performance from Logan Sewell in Game 2, who went on to strike out 6 Grizzlies to earn his second win on the season. The offense was paced by Donny Ortiz Jr., who went 4 for 5, scoring 3 times and driving in 4 while cranking his 3rd home run of the season. MSU Denver now sits in a tie for 3rd place with a 10-6 conference record.
The softball team also took their talents on the road, and they would also come away with a 4-game sweep over the competition. Coach Annie Van Wetzinga's squad run-rolled New Mexico Highlands 8-0 in Game 3 and would take down the Cowgirls 14-5 in the finale. The Roadrunners had 9 players with at least 1 hit and 7 players with at least 1 RBI. Alyssa Richter had 2 home runs in the win, and now MSU Denver sits in 4th place in the conference standings.
Our track and field team headed west for the Colorado School of Mines Open in Golden last Saturday. Freshman Robert Holstrom placed 4th overall in the triple jump, reaching 11.51 meters. Junior Kyle Jones had an impressive outing in the 800 meters, finishing 6th with a time of 1 minute and 59 seconds. On the women's side, senior Erica Ruiz crossed the finish 4th in the 800 meters, while MSU Denver's team, all in the 4x400 relay, placed 2nd overall. You can find more results at roadrunnerathletics.com.
Our tennis teams came away with the wins against Western New Mexico last Friday. The men's team defeated the Mustangs 6-3 at the Regency Athletic Complex. Josh Grates and Joey Cerny both took wins in number 1 and number 2 singles, while Alejandra Martinez Maria and Daniel Lorente took care of business in number 2 doubles 8-6. The women made it a clean 9-0 sweep over the Western New Mexico. Alex Pessoa and Tabitha Porter took their number 1 and number 2 single matches, while Courtney Wright and Emily Kerr won their number 1 singles match 8-4.
And we finished things up with some women's golf. The squad would finish 9th overall at the Hillcat Classic in Oklahoma. Senior Lindsay Gullickson led the way, finishing 21st overall with a 2-day score of 169. Sophomore Jennifer Hankins finished right behind her in 22nd spot with a score of 171. The next meet will take place on April 9th in Arizona. So now we welcome in Coach Ryan Strain, the coach of the baseball team. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So opening day begins for the big leagues this week. Do you still get excited about that, or are you more focused on MSU Denver baseball right now?
Well, I think you do. I mean, opening day is always a lot of fun. I mean, I think for baseball fans, opening day and then once you hit the playoffs are always the best time of the year. But, yeah, I mean, even though we've been playing for quite a while now, it's always exciting to see the big league teams start playing.
Nice.
The road hasn't been that great for your squad so far this season, but you go on the road to Alamosa and you swept the Grizzlies this weekend. Does that do wonders for the mentality and the conference for the squad moving forward?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, it was kind of unique this year. I mean, we played so many games at home, or at least it was unique for me, that we hadn't been on the road a whole lot. And like you said, we hadn't played that well. I think we were 2-6 on the road before we went to Alamosa. So, you know, able to get all 4 games, and it's tough to win 4 games, especially on the road. So I think that gave our guys a boost, put us in a good position in the league, and then now we get to come home and play against Regis this weekend.
A lot of things can stand out in a 16-10 game, but one thing we noticed in the first game of the series was 7 stolen bases. You preached to us that that was one thing that you were looking to push this year. How has that gone for you this year?
It's gone okay. I mean, I think we would have liked to have stolen more bases than we have, to be honest, even though we're leading the league. You know, but a lot of that comes down to your personnel. I mean, we've been banged up a little bit with some guys and with the guys that can't run for us. So, you know, anytime we get to a situation where we can steal bases, we're going to try. You know, it's this year a little bit too. We've either been up a lot or down a lot. You know, in those situations you can't run. But, you know, when it's a closer game and we can put ourselves in a good position, and I think it just, you know, the advantage was for us against Adams this weekend, being able to steal some bases. So in that game we were able to take advantage. Guys did a really good job pushing the envelope and taking the extra base, and we were able to double steal a couple times that, you know, put some pressure on them. So hopefully we can continue that. I mean, like I said, I mean, we've stolen quite a few bases this year, but, you know, I'd like us to continue to get better than that the second half of the season.
One of the performances that really stood out to us have been Donny Ortiz Jr. He had been struggling as of late coming into the Adams State series, but he turned it on for your team this weekend, hitting 3 home runs.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great weekend. I mean, he's a tough out. I mean, he's consistent, his swing, he's always in a good position to hit. You know, and even when he's struggled, he's had some good at-bats. He just hasn't, you know, the balls haven't fallen in for him. But, you know, every time he gets up, we always feel good about that. And he had a great weekend. You know, he was able to give us a boost in some of the times when we needed it. And, you know, without him this weekend swinging the bat as well as he would, we probably wouldn't have scored as many runs. So, you know, putting him in the 2-hole and kind of getting our, you know, offense kick-started every time we come back, turn the lineup back over, and hopefully continue that this weekend.
You told us last time that when you were on the show that you were going to use Logan Sewell more in pitching situations, and he hasn't given up an earned run in 13 innings of work, which included the winning performance against Adams in Game 2 of the series. It seems like he's taking that job and running away with it.
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate we weren't able to use Logan earlier in the year. You know, I think he was going to be one of our starters moving into the season and the end of the fall. You know, had a little bit of an arm issue, so we wanted to be careful and make sure that we, you know, do things right. And so now that he's able to get on the mound, he's had a couple starts and hasn't given up an earned run, has been really big for us. You know, this past weekend he probably could have gone the complete game, but he got to a certain pitch count that we wanted to stay at, and so that's why we took him out. And we made a couple plays. We didn't make a couple plays behind him that kind of got that pitch count up. But you know, hopefully this weekend in those 7-inning games, you know, he'll be able to do the same thing. But you know, he commands his zone, he attacks his zone, you know, and we're excited to have him. And now having him pitch gives us a big boost where we needed it.
So how about the play of Dylan Nelson at the plate? He had 8 hits, 3 home runs, and 8 RBIs. He played first base this past weekend for your team. His bat had to have come alive at the right time.
Yeah, that was big for him. I mean, Dylan obviously hadn't played a ton. You know, he's in a unique situation. We have, you know, Cale O'Donnell, who's, you know, returning first team, you know, all-conference first baseman, and then Jake Costitis has played real well when Cale got hurt. So, you know, it's hard to get Dylan in there. And, you know, Dylan had a nice fall and is a good hitter. And with Jake had to go home for a funeral, missed this weekend, and then Cale was sick the first day. So it really opened up the door for him to get that opportunity, and then he ran with it. I mean, you know, after the first game, we had to keep him in the lineup, and he earned that. And I would tell our guys all the time that even if you're not in the starting lineup, you just got to stay ready. And sometimes that's hard, you know, when you aren't in the lineup, you know, week in and week out. But he stayed ready, and when he got his opportunity, he took advantage of it. And you know, we wouldn't have won some of those games without his bat. I mean, he hit some big home runs, some key situations, and you know, I was really proud of him the way that he stayed ready. And when his name was called, he came out and produced for us.
Can you talk to us about Game 4 a little bit? You had to put up 3 runs in the 9th to take that game. Adams State intentionally walked Donny Ortiz to get to Trent Maloney, and Trent made them pay for that with the go-ahead home run.
Yeah, that was you know, one of those situations where you kind of had to pick your poison if you're the other coach. You know, we gave up some runs, gave up those 4 runs for them to tie it, and then we had to come up with, you know, the big hit there. And so, you know, when they walked Donnie, I said, well, the good news is, you know, if they're going to walk Donnie, they got to get to Trent. And you know, Trent was able to come up big and hit another home run. But that's a good thing about having a good lineup, that, you know, they're tough to pitch around when everybody's swinging the bats. And you know, this weekend, our top 3 guys were really good. So, you know, when they decided not to pitch to Donnie, I still felt, you know, pretty good about the situation, and you know, he got a good pitch to hit and was able to drive it out of the ballpark.
What's next for your baseball team? Because there seems to be a ton of things going on this weekend here at the RAC.
Yeah, well, this weekend we're playing Regis, who we're tied with. We're in third place right now, tied with them, and they're having a good year. Last year they were able to beat us a few times, and so it's a big weekend. I mean, it's a lot of these kids have played against each other for a long time, so it's going to be big for us. We got the fireworks game coming this weekend as well, so hopefully we get some good attendance for that, and the weather holds up. But it's a big weekend. I mean, these next 3 weekends are really big. It's kind of crazy. We play the same teams over the next 3 weekends. We play Regis, and then we have the pod weekend where we play UCCS and Regis, and then after that we play UCCS again. So it's going to be kind of weird to play the same team, for 3 straight weeks. But we're all real close. We're, like I said, tied with Regis, and UCCS is 1 game behind us. So it's going to be a big 3 weeks.
Well, Coach, thanks for coming on today, and great luck to your team this weekend.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
So we're going to be taking our first break, but before we do that, we want to give you our tweet of the week. It comes from our volleyball team who volunteered at the Special Olympics State Basketball Tournament this past Sunday. They kept score, ran clock, and helped with opening ceremonies, and lots more. Great to see that our athletics program are so involved with community service projects all over this great state of Colorado. Time to take that break. We'll talk women's basketball up next on the Coach's Corner.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
I pledge.
I pledge. I pledge.
Here at MSU Denver.
To stop sexual harassment.
To identify situations
in which sexual assault may occur.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
It's on us.
All of us. To get a friend home safely.
It's on us to be a part of the solution.
And not part of the problem.
Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
I'm Janae Squires-Horton, senior guard for the women's basketball team.
Squires-Horton swishes the long 2, and it's a 3-point lead.
When you're watching the Coach's Corner, get rowdy.
Nice.
I'm Georgia Ordorf, senior forward for the women's basketball team.
And now it's Georgia Ordorf driving to the rim and gets another easy layup.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. We are here with Coach Haave, but before we talk to her, we want to tell you about a great event that is happening right here at the Tivoli Tap House. The Tivoli Tap House will be exclusively taping their Victory Highway Hopvin Weizen beer this Thursday on March 29th at noon. You can purchase discounted pints at just $4 the day off the taping, and there's no better time to enjoy this spring weather than with the Tap House Victory Highway Hopvin Weizen beer starting on Thursday. For more information, visit TivoliBrewingCo.com. So now we welcome in coach of the women's basketball team, Coach Haave. Coach, thanks for being here.
Oh, always great to be here. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing good. Thanks.
Good.
So we know that the Tennessee Lady Vols are out of the Division I tournament.
Oh, yeah. So are the men.
Sorry about that. Yeah, that's true. So do you think that South Carolina has a chance to take down UConn tonight?
I sure hope so. You always want to see the underdog win. Well, underdog, they're the defending national champions, so they should be close. Well, probably in the second quarter now. So when I'm done here, I'm going to go watch that game. So I sure hope so. It'd be fun. It'd be good for the game for that to happen.
That's true, yes.
Speaking of the NCAA tournament runs, let's talk about yours a little bit. You ventured down to Lubbock, Texas, for the South Central Regional. Were there any nerves for you and your squad heading into that first game against CSU Pueblo?
Oh, I think you always have a few nerves. Just NCAA tournament. This group hadn't been to an NCAA tournament, so there was a few nerves. But I think once we got into it, I think it really helped to play familiar opponent in Pueblo. But once we got going, I think once they got going, their nerves kind of went away, and hey, we're just playing basketball. So, and we played really well in that first game. So it was fun to get that game under our belt, and then we were able to get to that next round, which is what we, you always want to survive in advance, as they say. So, but few nerves, but not bad.
In that CSU Pueblo game, your squad did a great job slowing down and frustrating Molly Rohrer, the RMAX Player of the Year. How was your team able to keep her from becoming a major factor in that game?
Well, I think we were able to push her out a little bit farther away from the basket. I think we were able to speed her up a little bit, and then we didn't let her see certain angles to the basket or make certain passes, and we were able to get there. She put the ball on the floor, maybe get some steals, but you know, we did a really good job on her. And then we covered up, we kind of pick and chose our spots of who to try and guard her with. You can't guard her with just one person, so our players did a really great job with her. Georgia, Emily, Bree, all the girls that did get a chance to guard her.
How about the team effort offensively? Hargan and Whitwer paced the team in the first half, and then the big guns came out for your team, and Smith, Ordorf, Squires Horton came out in the second as you guys ended up rolling with the win.
Yeah, and that's what down the stretch really was the strength of our team. It'd be Johnny would have that great game that she had at Shadron, so we had a lot of balance in our scoring with, you know, like I said, Johnny and Emily, and then Jay, Squires, and Georgia in the second half. So it's really hard to key on anybody for our team, because and then Michaela Gordon could get into the act. So we had 6 or 7 players that were capable of scoring in double figures. So it was nice to see a nice balanced attack. And then everybody loves to see close games, but I'm glad it wasn't so close that we kind of ran away with it. It was great team victory for us.
You next took on West Texas A&M in the regional semifinals. It seemed like the Lady Buffs wanted to work in the paint and did so effectively. Why was it so hard to stop their post from working near the rim?
Yeah, it was pretty clear from the beginning. They felt like they had that advantage inside, and they did. I think we did a better job in the first half kind of containing that, and a harder job in the second half, because that's exactly where they went inside in that second half when they really needed someone to score, you know, kind of both the time. And, you know, we struggled with, okay, let's maybe go to a zone, but their guard, Lexi Hightower, had 30 points the night before, so I felt like if we went to that zone, we might be giving up that 3, and I'd rather give up a 2 than a 3, so it was kind of pick your poison. So, and they're there for a reason, because they're a good balanced team, but they definitely had the advantage inside on the post during that game.
So as you stated, unfortunately the season had to end in the regional semifinal. What was your message after the game once you guys got back into the locker room, especially for the seniors such as Georgia Ordorf?
Yes. Well, it's always a hard locker room, emotional locker room, but I just told them how proud I was of them, of where they, especially the seniors, Georgia, Emily, even though she's not a senior athletically, Georgia, Squires, and Emily, those 3, where they have come from, what they have done with the program, and the leadership they've shown, and they should be very proud of the legacy that they left here at Metro, because not many teams have done what they had done. They're the first 3 teams here when I was here went to an NCAA tournament and won a game. So there's 4 teams in the history of Metro that have been in the NCAA tournament and won games. So it's something that not a lot of teams have done, and they should be very proud of. So just told them I was very proud of them, and then we walked out of the locker room with our heads held high. But it is always disappointing, because I felt like we were right there to upset that team. It would have been the upset that, you know, and then have a chance to play Lubbock on their home floor, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Yes. You had a couple of weeks to reflect on this past 2017-2018 season. What jumps out to you the most, and what do you think about the most looking back at the season?
I think how Janae Squires and Georgia Ordorf really were able to develop into consistent performers and consistent leaders, and that's exactly what you want your seniors to do. And they led our team and ultimately helped out. They were great examples for our incoming seniors now, or rising seniors, but the fact that they could end their careers at Metro on such a high note, personally and for the team, playing so well, and just the satisfaction of that group to be able to get us back into the NCAA tournament and in the conversation for an RMAC championship, although we weren't that close, but we were up there for that.
Well, Coach, it was fun all year long for your squad. We want to thank you and what you've done for us here on the show and for all the fans out there who love and follow your women's basketball program.
Well, thank you for everything that you do, and to the fans, thank you for all of your support all season long. It was a fun season, and we're excited for the next year, 18-19. It'll be here before we know it.
That's true, yes. So we're going to be taking another break, but come on back. We'll be talking more women's basketball.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Metropolitan State University of Denver nurtures student aspiration and empowers lifelong success through personal attention and professional experience in an inclusive environment. Located in the heart of downtown Denver, the university offers broad access to a transformative undergraduate and graduate education on Colorado's most diverse college campus. And as a gateway to opportunity, MSU Denver advances the intellectual, social, cultural, and economic well-being of Denver and beyond.
I'm Janae Squires-Horton, senior guard for the women's basketball team.
Squires-Horton swishes the long two, and it's a 3-point lead.
When you're watching the Coach's Corner, get rowdy.
I'm Jalen Smith, junior guard for the women's basketball team.
And the Roadrunners coming back in transition. Smith all the way to the rack, coast to coast.
And you're watching Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Welcome back. Before we say hello to Lenny, we want to remind you about the Roadrunners Reward app. Grab your phones, download the Roadrunners Reward app, and start earning points towards free Roadrunner gear. So when you attend games, Roadrunners luncheons, or even Coach's Corner, you can rack up the points to earn free food, free t-shirts, and even an amazing Roadrunner game day experience. So download that app today. So now we welcome in Losalini Katia from the women's basketball team. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So the men's and women's basketball tournaments, NCAA Division I tournaments are going on right now. Are you a big fan of that?
I watch it, but you know, it's better when you're playing, so
nice.
Haven't really been following it, but my bracket has been stuffed because it's just underdog stories everywhere. So yeah, looking forward to Final Four and stuff, so it's good.
Nice.
So your squad just finished their run in the NCAA tournament, as you mentioned. What was it like to travel down to Texas and be a part of such a big stage and be able to play in that type of environment?
It was an amazing experience. We banded together as a team, and we found out on the Sunday late afternoon that we were heading down to Texas, so it was prep time from there, and we left Wednesday, and it was surreal. We traveled down to Texas. It's a bit of a long bus trip, but we got there. It was just surreal getting the first win under our belt and upsetting the #3 seed in our conference, so it was really good.
This was your first trip in this type of tournament. Tell us what you learned from it and how it will, for next year, help you out from that spot again.
It was an amazing experience. Like, now we know that we have what it takes to go far, and we only just lost to West Texas A&M, so we know now what to do. Like, we were in it. It was a 2-possession game, like towards the last couple of minutes, and it just kind of, we had to foul, but we know like what to do now, how to prepare for it, because we've had such an outstanding season, and the work begins now for next season, and hoping to keep going further and further.
We asked Coach this as she was just on. What was her message to you guys once that final game was over?
Not gonna lie, it was a very emotional locker room, but we gave it our all, and that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. If you play with your heart on your sleeve and play with everything you've got, you shouldn't be like, yeah, it was disheartening and sad that we lost, but we should all be proud of ourselves. Like, we played to the best of our abilities and bore out for each other and for Metro, and that's all the best you can ask for.
The season comes to an end, and that completes your first year with the program as a freshman. How did the first year go for you? Anything you learned playing at this level?
I learned a lot of things. Just the level of physicality is different from college basketball is a very high level of basketball, and no matter what experience you have, you can always learn something from college basketball. You learn stuff from your teammates, your coaches, your strength and conditioning coach. You learn from everyone, and you just absorb it, and you don't even realize how much better player you are till you look back and you're like, hey, I've learned a whole lot of things. So learned a lot of good things from a lot of good people here.
Was there at any part of the season a particular moment that was your favorite and or stood out to you, whether it was on the court or off the court?
I have two favorite moments, and they both consist of beating CSU Pueblo. So the first time we beat them was in overtime at home here, and that was surreal. Everyone was on a high, went to overtime, and we just pulled through, and that was great. And then the start of the game at the NCAA, number 3 seed going against number 6 seed, shouldn't go towards us, but we knew that we had them, and yeah, that was just surreal, getting that win, going to the NCAA and getting a win. Making the NCAA was great, but to get that win was even more amazing.
So as you get ready for your sophomore season, do you have any goals already for next season?
Yeah, I'm hoping to come back stronger, fitter, and really contribute to the team, and be a weapon that the coaches can use on and off the court, and be a better student as well.
Are there any plans for you to go see your family in Australia this summer?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I go home in 6 weeks, so as much as I love being here in Denver, there's nothing like going home to see family in the summer, so that's always really good. And I go back home and I play my season back home, so that'll be really good for fitness-wise and experience-wise. We'll be playing against some of the best people in Australia, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, Lenny, thanks again for coming on the show, and best of luck to you next season, and we're really excited to see you on the court more often.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up today's show, we want to give you a preview of what's for the upcoming schedule for Roadrunner Sports. Both our baseball and softball teams are back home this weekend, and both will welcome in Regis University. It will be MSU Denver's Faculty and Staff Appreciation Day on Thursday, and the opening baseball game will start at 6 p.m. under the lights. Then the baseball squad will play a doubleheader on Friday starting at 1 p.m. And it will be Military Appreciation Day, and we'll celebrate with some fireworks at the Regency Athletic Complex. The softball team will play doubleheaders against Regis, first on Friday starting at 4 p.m. and then on Saturday starting at 1 p.m.
And remember, Tony, that we're celebrating our faculty and staff Thursday night and Friday. We'll be honoring our military while setting off some fireworks after the games on Friday night. So come on down to the Regency Athletic Complex, watch some great baseball, some great softball, and enjoy some Tivoli beer from the beer garden and watch some fireworks. Should be a great time, and we don't want to forget to mention our outdoor track and field team will be in Pueblo this Saturday at CSU Pueblo Open, so wish them the best of luck on the road.
So that'll wrap it up for another episode. We want to thank Coach Strain, Coach Haave, and Lenny, thanks for being on the show. David, thank you.
My pleasure.
I'm Tony Almanza. We'll see you again on the Coach's Corner.